Billionaires have billions of dollars worth of assets, such as real estate, investments, and other assets. Yet they do not have that much money as cash in the bank. In this video, we'll see all you need to know about the billionaires hiding their money. What strategies do the wealthy use to avoid paying taxes? Rich investors might reduce their tax burden by hoarding assets, rather than selling them immediately. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, wealthy individuals can wait to sell until it makes the greatest sense for them, such as a year in which they will have significant capital losses to offset the gain. Who pays most of the taxes in the U.S.? It is expected that the share of all taxes paid by the wealthiest 1% of Americans would be somewhat greater than the share of all income accruing to this group this year. Do billionaires carry cash? Billionaires do not carry around significantly more money than the average person, because it represents less than 5% of your total net worth. The chances are good that you have enough liquid investments to cash out and pay for the flat with a check if you so choose. Can IRS see your bank account? Is it true? In a nutshell, the Internal Revenue Service is likely already aware of many of your financial accounts, and the IRS can obtain information on how much money is in them. Despite this, the Internal Revenue Service rarely looks into your bank and financial accounts unless you are being audited or the IRS is attempting to collect past taxes from you. How do billionaires hide their money? A common method of accomplishing this is through anonymous shell corporations, which rarely perform any actual business and allow its owners to keep their identities just about as concealed as the money they stash away within the firms themselves. Can billionaires hide their net worth? If you want to keep it secret, that is not possible. The fact that they are already well known means that they are not required to disclose their net worth in accordance with their public limited company reports or other legislation designed to safeguard shareholders' stakeholders. How much money can you legally keep in your house? As long as you have reported the source of the money on your tax returns, it is permissible for you to keep large sums of cash in your possession at your residence. There is no limit to the quantity of cash, silver, and gold that can be kept in a person's home. The key thing is to ensure that it is adequately secured. Why is my husband hiding money from me? The ramifications of keeping money hidden from your spouse or partner. Others keep their money hidden because they're embarrassed about how they handle their finances. When partners, however, keep financial secrets from one another, it is an indication of deeper interpersonal issues. It's never just about the money. Money may reflect a variety of emotions, such as embarrassment, anxiety, distrust, and more, depending on the situation. What is the best country to hide money? Switzerland is the best country in the world for asset protection. Switzerland has long had a reputation as one of the best places to hide money in the world, and this reputation has only grown stronger. It is mostly due to the country's stringent privacy rules, which is one of the primary reasons behind this. According to how stuff works, they have been around for more than 300 years. Who owns the money in your bank account? While certain financial institutions may designate one individual as the primary account holder, the fact remains that everyone owns everything, collectively. Once the money is deposited, it becomes the property of each account holder in its entirety and equally, regardless of where it came from. How can I legally hide money from the IRS? Trusts. Establishing an international asset protection trust in the appropriate country is the most effective approach to not only conceal money from the Internal Revenue Service, but to conceal it from everyone, as well as to transmit riches to your heirs tax-free. Offshore accounts. These are essentially synonymous with trusts in terms of function. Why do billionaires pay less taxes? Billionaires typically do not make their fortunes through large wages. Rather, their wealth is accumulated through investments in businesses and other assets, ranging from real estate to art. Their earnings from these investments are taxed differently than the earnings they earn from their jobs. Do poor people pay taxes? The vast majority of low-income households do not pay federal income taxes, typically because they owe no tax, since their income is less than the standard deduction, or because tax credits balance the amount they would otherwise owe. The payroll tax, on the other hand, is levied against practically all low-wage workers. Can you keep $1 million in the bank? Banks do not impose maximum deposit limits on their customers. $1 million can be placed in a bank account with no problem. However, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation will not insure the total amount if it is placed in a single bank account. To keep your money safe, divide your deposit into multiple accounts at different financial institutions. Do billionaires have cash? Because the vast majority of billionaires' wealth are typically invested in company interests, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other financial assets. The average billionaire only has 1% of their net worth in liquid assets, such as cash. Is hiding money illegal? Aside from opening an offshore account with the goal of evading taxes, there is nothing illegal in establishing an offshore account. In accordance with the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, banks around the world are required to report balances and any activity involving American persons to the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, or face penalties. How much money can you keep in a bank? Example: if you have a checking account, a savings account, and a money market account at the same bank that are all owned by you and only you, the combined balances of those accounts would be insured up to the $250,000 maximum set by the FDIC per depositor. How much money can you deposit without getting flagged? You must notify the government if you deposit cash in your bank account in an amount greater than $10,000. If you do, your bank is required to disclose the deposit to the government. The Bank Secrecy Act, commonly known as the Currency and Foreign Transactions Reporting Act, establishes the rules for big cash transactions involving banks and financial institutions. Who avoids the most tax, and what does that mean for equality? The ultra-rich avoid the most tax. According to the study, the ultra-rich, defined as those with a net worth of more than $4 to $5 million, are 10 times more likely than the typical citizen to cheat taxes. That means the ultra-rich have devised a way to avoid paying approximately 30% of their personal income and wealth taxes. The authors speculate that evasion among the wealthy may be much higher, because their research was conducted in Scandinavian countries where social trust is high, corruption is low, and respect for the rule of law is strong. When looking specifically at Norway, the analysis discovered that offshore money boosts the top 0.1% wealth share from 8% to 10%. And for the wealthiest 0.01%, tax avoidance raises their wealth by a third. The ultra-rich are more likely to use offshore accounts. According to data based on ICIJ Swiss leaks, the possibility of Scandinavians in the bottom 99% of wealth hiding their assets in HSBC accounts was negligible. However, among the richest 0.01%, the probability jumps to 1%. This graph depicts the likelihood of possessing an unreported HSBC account by wealth category. The grading is also notable. Top 0.01% households are 13 times more likely to hide assets at HSBC than bottom half of top 1% households, they stated. Offshore wealth is shifting from Switzerland to Asia. The size of this money, according to the study, is not simply explained by tax or institutional variables, but rather correlates more closely with a country's closeness to Switzerland, the abundance of natural resources, and political economic instability. However, the analysis also discovered that wealth was expanding in tax havens situated in Asia, primarily in Hong Kong, with offshore accounts maintained in Switzerland dropping since the 2008 global crisis. According to the authors, offshore assets in Hong Kong increased sixfold between 2007 and 2015, with the country now ranking second only to Switzerland in terms of tax havens. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Do you pay taxes, and if not, how do you hide that money? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.